What are we jamming on now, Jay? What are you jamming on right now? Some shit that's behind you. I assume. What is that? Age of
Yeah,
Empires? Age of
some
Empires?
fresh. Yes, sir. You
Yeah.
already know. Age of Empires 3. I mean, have you played this game? So you're familiar with it,
The
yes?
no, I played the very. I think we talked about this. I played the very. I think it was the first one. It might have been two,
Okay.
a long time ago. Late '90s probably was the last time I
Yeah.
played Age of Empires.
Yeah. Well, so this is a game Courtney and I used to play it quite a bit when we were first engaged and getting married because we had separate PCs and at the time it was a new game. And so we loved it. We would play it a lot. And we really only stopped playing it when, my PC would die and I got one that didn't have a disk drive anymore. And, she moved to a Mac. And so we just kind of ended up getting an Xbox and just really going console and never really played it again. But knowing that Age of Empires 4 is coming out soon, in a couple months here, is super exciting. And so we've been playing them again now that we have PCs and everything. Zion has her own PC. We introduced her to it. So she's been playing on her PC and she loves it.
So y'all you can play all on a net play thing, all of you against each other. That would be
Yeah.
that's super fucking fun. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And it's on Game Pass, like 2 and 3. I think maybe even Age of Empires 1, they're all on Game Pass. So yeah, as long as you have that, we can play it. And it's been a blast, man. I forgot how much fun that is and how much I'm looking forward to Age 4. So
that's cool. I prefer the turn based of Civ over the real time thing, but
really,
I do remember enjoying it. Yeah. No, I need to be able to fucking strategy, man.
I'm like, I already go with my strategy. It's like, okay, I got to get villagers. I got to build houses first because I need the population so they can go farm. Need to build up the economy. I have a game plan set from the beginning.
Oh,
so
for sure. When I play Civ, I don't I avoid war just with all my being. I have zero interest in warfare. I want to build. All I do is I just want to build and I want to develop and I want to fucking, the wonders in particular. I want all the wonders. Culture victory is always my target goal when I'm playing Civ for the most part. And yeah, I mean, I'm just all about the getting all the things. I know, I played it so much too. That's the worst part about Civ is that, you can, no matter how much they've improved each one, it gets to a point where you're just kind of the AI thing. You're just checking a box. You know what I mean? It gets away from the role play and what it should be in your head, and it gets you just thinking about the numbers. You know what I mean? And
that's why Age 3 has answers to both of those, Josh. First of all, they have treaties. So I always put in a treaty because I want to build too, and I want to get to the highest civilization and build the wonders and things like that. So I'll put in a treaty. I like the war as well, but I want to push that off and build up.
Oh, you can turn it off. So you can just set the rules to
right. But I like to just put in a treaty, so it's you can't fight me for X amount of time, just so I can, we can both advance up to the point where you want to be.
You're saying in diplomacy, or that's just in game thing?
Yeah, you can just
you can do that.
Just
too, of course. I mean, yeah, they have very awesome diplomacy. I mean, that they've done a good job. That's one of the areas because that's so AI based, of course. And it's still. I mean, there are still, the in Civ 6, the way early on in the game timeline, you always get the French leader is always extra fixated on espionage and warning you that people are doing shady shit around you via espionage. She always will do the little thing where they just come talk to you and she says some shit about so there's so many layers to what's going on right now. You should open your eyes or some shit like that, and she's every game, no matter what, she's telling me that. It's no, if I develop the shit out of my home, my homeland security to a point where it's not even possible, she's still saying that shit to me. So there's still things, there are things that just the AI is not perfect by any length, but it's come a long way for sure since when I first started playing Civ, to say the least.
Well, one of the other things I like about Age is you can set a home civilization and then there's different decks you can build. So you unlock I don't know, just these extra in-game improvements and things that just aren't there, to where it gives you an incentive to really keep playing that same civilization, in like building them up and expanding and seeing what these new things you
Wait,
can
so
unlock.
you're not one like race or nationality or something?
You totally you choose that every single time. So like I can choose to be like the Japanese because I like how their economy works with rice paddies and things like that and the shrines. But then, my home city is like the Portuguese in Lisbon because that's the one I'm building out like my further like the deck. They call them decks. It's almost like, cards that you get. And the more that you do, the more that you win, the things you
So
it gives you
you're
an
such a
incentive to,
loot
like,
crate
have that
whore,
same
Jay.
win.
You're such a loot crate
It's
whore.
not that though. It's not that at all. It's just like improvements like where you would have your artillery, is 20% more damage. Like you find something that like adds another 5% on top of that you can deploy if you choose it within the game once. Like it's just like a one-time thing. So it's things that get delivered to your home city that normally happen within the game anyway, but it gives you just an incentive to play that home city over and over because in the background it like improves as you improve playing that as well. Like you started out, if I remember correctly, because I haven't done it in the recent playthrough, but like your city starts out like much more bare bones, like your background cinematic I'm talking about when you're just like preparing is this like bare bones city. But then as you build your deck, like more things like the dock now is built with like concrete and there's like ships in the dock now and things like that happen as you build it up. And it's really cool, like especially graphically to see, just even if it's just something that's like at the beginning of the game. I don't know, it seems so much more intricate than like other games that I've played that I'm just like, yeah, I'm so hyped for age 4 that age 3 has been like a big thing for me.
For sure. No, yeah, like I said, it's been so long since I played that. I can't even imagine the difference. Just fucking the gameplay and the features. It's got to be just fucking insane how much is how much has changed.
And then yeah, man, another game I've been playing that we actually beat, Space Jam: A New Legacy. I posted on the Facebook page like some diskettes. It was pretty great. But yeah, man, it's a lot of fun, like a side-scrolling beat 'em up, like a la Streets of Rage, typical of the '80s, with like a lot of callbacks to the '80s, and
Have you watched the movie yet? Did you take
I
the
have
kids
not
or no?
watched the movie
No.
yet.
I
It's
I haven't either. Of course, I one of the I think it was the CAGcast, Cheap Ass Gamers podcast. Let's do. They were talking about it. They're really heavy on movies and TV and shit in their show, and they were talking about it. And I guess I know nothing about the movie, but apparently the movie is much less. First of all, it's not in space, which makes it sort of
really.
misleading. Yeah, and it's much more about like it's like about a video game. Like I think like LeBron's kid is like I don't know something. It's something to do with like a video game or video game development or some shit. And they were saying that like there's a video game in the movie. You know what I mean? Like there's it's a big part of the movie story is this one specific video game that's in the movie. And they were saying how stupid they thought it was that the video game companion, the game I think you're referencing here, is not that game. Like it's a completely different, nothing to do with the game. And I was like, yeah, that is dumb. Like, why would you not tie those things together? And I'm sure it's just a practicality thing. They probably, who knows, why they didn't. But that certainly would have been a much smarter marketing tool if it were the thing in the game.
Yeah, well, me having no knowledge of the movie yet, it's a fun game. Fun side-scrolling beat 'em up, calling back to the '80s, '90s. Like why not? So,
are you playing as LeBron?
Yeah, you can. Well, you're playing as LeBron, Bugs, and I forgot Bonnie Bunny. I think as a female bunny character. I guess it's in the movie, and maybe somebody else. So like me, Zion, and Zeke are all playing together. So I was playing as LeBron, but yeah, you have a ball, you have a basketball, and you do moves with it. But it's definitely a side-scrolling fighter. So definitely not basketball at all. But they reference playing a game like at the end of the game. Spoiler alert! But yeah, it's
no wait, no sweat, Jay. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. So that, and then yeah, really just more Doom Eternal. Finally getting somewhere, making progress. Like, it's so much fun again. Like I'm killing Hell Priests, unlocking fun skins and stuff, and yeah, I'm gonna keep playing that. So
I do have because you kill that Hell Priest like right is like like the tutorial level almost to start the game. And that was certainly, I mean, I posted that cinematic, you know, they showed you, like, fuck, that was cool. So yeah, I'm curious to see how, or I would be curious, I don't know if I'll ever get there, but I would be curious to see like those cinematics of him fucking just, God knows what he does to the next hell priest. He like ripped the head off and like looked at it and threw it in the fire. Like that was so fucking cool.
That kind of stuff is so exciting to see throughout. Yeah, man, I'm sucked in. The graphics are great, the gameplay. Like I'm finishing this game one way, no matter how long it takes me, for sure.
I like the sound of closure. Word. Anything else?
No, man, that's it. What about you? What are you jamming on?
Well, we talked about the Doom shit, so I headed. That was like the first thing I did when we got off last time. I headed over to Game Pass after I ordered my RBI baseball cart, anyways, and went to download Doom Eternal. And in doing so, I noticed that Fallout 76 was on there, was on Game Pass, and I have heard just like I think everyone has, if you even like, and I don't even, I mean, video game like current gaming news, particularly stuff about like companies and shit, I don't give a fuck. So I don't pay any attention to that stuff. You know, if I'm not, even if I'm playing a game, like I don't care about, I just don't care about the industry side of it, you know? And I still knew that Fallout 76 was like a fucking dumpster fire of, of a release, of just like everything around it, PR wise was just like awful. Like no, like just everyone talking shit about it. So you know, and like, I'm not going to pay a subscription fee to play. I'm just not. Fuck you. I'm not playing that. I'm not going to do that to play a specific game. Go fuck yourself. You know. So like, there's just a million reasons why I hadn't even like thought about engaging Fallout 76 yet, despite having a reasonable affinity for the Fallout series.
Yep.
And so like it's on Game Pass though, totally free. I'll peep out some Fallout shit for totally free. Like, no matter how bad the buzz around it is. So I downloaded this thing. And I realized, you know, I downloaded it and like it just, even though I should have known, it didn't occur to me. I downloaded it and I realized I needed the Bethesda.net sign in, you know? So I'm like, oh, finally, motherfuckers, fine. You motherfuckers, fine. So I try to sign up with my email and it tells me I already had an account, which I have no inkling of whatsoever. So after like separate pain in the ass recovery processes of both my username and password, I realized that I must have made a burner account at some point, which I am absolutely certain of based on the username that the account had. Like I know that's a burner fucking account idea for sure. So yeah, I had a Bethesda burner account the whole time and didn't know it. So now I can play those games. Hip hip hooray! So that's out of the way in my life. But as far as the game goes, in Fallout 76, it's weird, man. Like you said, you have dabbled with it, yeah?
Yeah. I played with. I was one of the people who played it when it first came out and was disappointed because I was like, this is just like Fallout 4, but it's missing stuff. I don't understand. Like it was just, yeah. I was disappointed because I paid full price. I was very excited.
Oh God, that's
yeah.
Yeah. So it's. I mean, you know, and this is just the next gen system thing, and I haven't played. I don't think. Yeah, I didn't play Fallout 4 in there yet, but I think I did play New Vegas, but that's of course not. That's just a half-ass remastering. You know, it's not even really updated for the new system. But anyways, it's fucking weird because it doesn't feel like the Fallout I know. It's too smooth. It's too glossy. It's too
really,
you know, like the literally the feel of it. Like Fallout, and maybe this is just the recency thing of having played New Vegas, which is, you know, a decade old, and it's just like kind of this shifty. I don't know, it's just, but it's so smooth and so. I know it's fucking weird, man. Like it's really hard to process based on the way that's my understanding of Fallout, you know. Because those Bethesda, even Skyrim is the same way. Like as great as I think Skyrim is, it's such a big world and shit. You concede, and that's an old game too now. But like you concede so many things on the aesthetic, like the feel of it front, just because of how expansive the world is and how great the game is. All this, like a lot of the gameplay stuff is still clunky. There's bugs, and you just roll with that because, like, yeah, okay, well, that's how it is for a game like this right now, you know. But like the feel side of it, anyways, is not like that at all. It feels and looks fucking great. So that was, you know, immediate impression. I was like, fuck, this is fucking cool. So, in like the gameplay, I thought, I mean, you said you like Fallout 4. I thought Fallout 4 was pretty shitty in a lot of ways. I hated the base building stuff. I didn't have any like.
I love that.
I didn't like it all. And I usually like that kind of shit too. So that, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, like I felt like it has fixed, or it did fix a lot of the things that I found wrong with Fallout. Like my inclination, like in Fallout 4, man, my inclination to craft, honestly, all the Fallout games to date, my inclination to craft anything other than major weapons and armor, and then I guess maybe eventually, I'm not even ammo, because you get to the point, most of those games, you get to the point where like ammo's everywhere, it's abundant, you don't even need to worry about it. Maybe I guess if you play on a harder level, that decreases, but I don't know, just I've never really had any inclination to craft shit, and then that in turn makes the scavenging of crafting materials pointless too. If you don't want to craft, you don't need the materials. So like, so I just usually just blow by all those stupid little things that are fucking laying around in the rooms and the spaces you experience, you go through. I'm just looking for essentially story plot points and quest items and shit. So like, but now that like, because everything, like they up the scarcity of everything, and you need those things to survive. And you never have enough ammo in this game, and like you just you like you want, and you do need. I am inclined to build in this one, so like I need these materials now. So now all I do is scavenge. Like I'm like going around, like I'll go to the data points in the story, fucking things, but like I'm really just looking around for very specific things that I need to build the next thing or whatever, and that that changes your level of just I don't know, fucking investment in this game, in this story world, so much more, so that's really cool. I've never cared what I looked like in these games, because you're just, nothing but lackluster Bethesda AI around you, so now that there's human beings in this world, like I immediately had like a slightly different willingness to like engage what I'm wearing, like trying to find new clothes. If I find something cool, like literally trying it on and looking at it, I'm like, no, because people are going to see it, And like I've had, you had those interactions. Like I have the thing, and this is one of the things I love about too. Like, I don't really want, I hate the online multiplayer thing usually, and I've had those experiences too. So thankfully this is this way, but you can essentially nerf what other players can do to you. If you don't attack back, their attacks essentially don't do anything to you. You know what I mean? You can set it that way. So, and I certainly have had people just like, you can see their level on the thing. They're like a level 157 or something, and they're just trying to lay waste to me. They're just running around behind me trying to fucking mow me down. It's like, fuck off. Yeah, like, which is great that you can do that with someone who wants to play that way. It's like, fuck off. What do you even... If you do want to play that way where you are battling other players, why are you out fighting a level 8 dude? Like, what's the matter with you? You fucking asshole, So that's exactly why I fucking hate online gaming. But you can turn that off. So, but you had those moments too that are much cooler where, you see someone and you because they have the little thing over, so when an actual PC, and also just the way people move, which is also one of my things with online gaming, is like you can just tell the way people move whether they're an NPC or not. It's like a little more erratic, I think that's fucking stupid too. I hate that about online multiplayer. But anyways, you've had those interactions where you just like walk up to each other and you just kind of like look at each other, and like I don't even have my microphone on. My microphone is turned off. Like I can't even talk to them if I wanted to. But fucking like you just look there, you're like looking at them and shit, and like kind of looking at their stuff and their gun and their clothes to see if there's anything you want to go find, and then like you're of course like letting them look at you, and that's like that is cool. Like that interaction is cool, and it's more incentivized here for obvious reasons because you're playing with players, and then it's automatically survival mode, so food and water are necessary, and that, of course, I've never really played Fallout. That last time I played New Vegas, I turned that on and it changed that experience a little bit. But here it's like a huge thing, and like usually I never really have to even use my rat away. So I just don't do things that require me to take on radiation for the most part, with the exception of maybe exploring a highly irradiated area. So like, but this, just because to survive, you got to eat dumb shit that you normally you don't want to eat, but like you have to just to stay alive. So like that's so much more real and so much more like what living in that wasteland would be like. And that's, just this little things like that make you really engage what the Fallout world is supposed to be more so than I ever have, is a really, really cool betterment of the game, that I really, really like about Fallout 76.
Man, that is so fascinating to me because I like, again, when this game came out, I had so many negative things to say about it. It just was like there was no quests. It was just like, here you are. And there were so many things that were
that's the weirdest thing to me. Like I thought it would be more like that. And dude, it's just a Fallout game, man. It's just like a Fallout game with an endless supply of shit to do.
But
and I'm sure it wasn't
I'm sure it
wasn't like that to begin with. Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Yeah, no, it was just like, what is this? Like, what did I? It was more like you looked around and you're like, what did I pay for? Like, what is this? but even since then, I've seen them, have iterative updates to where things change. And I can't remember, I think there was a Juggernaut update or some type of update that happened farther back, which I did jump back in.
What the hell is a Juggernaut? Is that industry lingo?
Dude,
Juggernaut update?
that was the name of the update. Like it even said it, like on the thing.
I thought that was just like what the industry calls like a very huge update, a Juggernaut update. What the fuck is
no. No, but like they fixed a bunch of stuff at that point, and that may have been when they added quests too and like more story points. But regardless, at that point, even Courtney tried to jump in, and we were both playing it together, trying to get back into it. But like I was using it more of like, hey, let's play something together. And there's some people I know from ESO that like still play it, and so I would like play in their world for a little bit. But like I enjoy that game, but I would like to play it with other people more. So like when other people weren't really sticking with it, I was like, I guess I'll just kind of let it fall to the wayside,
Yeah, I mean, we still haven't jumped in together, so I don't have any firsthand knowledge of it, and you kind of described it like if I can't keep working on all my shit, like the things I have going, the quest lines, and just all the little incremental things that I'm trying to accomplish on a day-to-day basis. Like if I have to like set those aside to play multiplayer, like I have zero interest. Like
no. But that's the thing, you wouldn't have to. Like for example, I jumped into other people's worlds usually. So like in Courtney's
but that sucks too that you have to doing yours.
But that was by agreement. Like I went into there and we like built something together. So whenever we log in together, we go into this one place where we have all this stuff and like this base that we had built. But like otherwise, like I have my own that I've built. I can just go into other people's and just play and quest together. So like I could jump into your game and like we could still do quests and do these other things.
Right,
I don't need to be building my own stuff.
But they wouldn't carry you. That's what I mean. They wouldn't carry over to your game. Like, why can't we play a game where both our home shit is living together at all times?
I mean, we could do that. Like my home stuff is technically in court.
Would we have to start there and stay there, or like?
I don't know. I actually don't know the details.
See, I know what I mean. I just have so many questions.
Jump into yours now and build, but I don't know. Like, because again, it's been so long. I don't know. Maybe I could like say, hey, move my main, whatever the thing is called, my main camp here.
Well, that's a cool thing. That's a really interesting thing about it, and because your camp is just like no matter how crazy ass elaborate cool thing you build, there is this item, the camp, and it's an acronym for something. I can't remember what it is offhand. Some clever ass Fallout humor thing, and you can just pick that up. You don't actually need to pick it up. You can be somewhere else. And you just have to pay a cap tithe to plop it down somewhere else. And the base, as you build it wherever, now is here, And that's it's a little unrealistic, of course, but I think it's cool. And it allows you some through line, because it would be a pain. Like one of the things about Subnautica, when you move your base and like, am I going to take all these materials that I've dumped into this base iteration and move them down there, or I'm just going to start from scratch? And like neither is good. Neither is good. I mean, it's still fun and you still do it, but neither is good for your like time in life. The time you're gonna spend doing this. So it's cool. Like this Fallout 76 is already time consuming enough. So I think it's the right decision. But yeah, so you can put it anywhere. So like, I mean, I'm sure you could bring I know like I've found other players' bases before. Like some really cool ones, and you can just go in and explore and just fuck with their shit, which is cool, And you can't steal anything, which is also cool. That you can't fuck things up. That would be awful, I think. You probably can. There's probably a setting that allows you to do that and play a game like that, but I would fucking hate that. Anyways, what's that?
So who would want that?
Right. Well, there's purists like that want whatever. Who cares? But I've been in like a house fucking around before, and then it's all of a sudden it's like. It disappears and I drop out onto the ground and it's gone. And it's because the person who had plopped that house down there moved it and went to take it somewhere else, And I was like, whoa, so that you can absolutely just pick it and move it and do whatever you want with it whenever you want. And that, that's kind of cool and interesting. So I can't see why you wouldn't be able to, because that's the most rooted thing. I mean, that is the only rooted thing. Everything else is just what you have on your person and then what you've done in the world, what you've interacted with, what you've left set.
And you know what? Now that you say that, I do specifically remember a time where me and Courtney were in the game, but also one or two people that we also knew were in the game as well. But like we clearly weren't all like in each other's game. Like I know me and Courtney would have been, but I was able to move my camp, like triangulate in the middle of everybody, so I was near everyone. So apparently you
Yeah,
can. I just don't
yeah,
remember
there's
all the
got to be.
details of how it works.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would. Yeah, it would be awesome to do that, but I would hate to have to stunt. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. If you don't care, you don't care. But I would hate. I would completely lose interest if I wasn't able to work again on those incremental things that I have going on while I'm hanging out with the person that I'm hanging out with. That would be. But it would be fucking amazing to do that shit together. That would be fucking incredible. So. Yeah, man, it's fucking weird, man. Like I started homesteading, like I mentioned, like the crafting, the camp thing, and dude, the pictures that I have hanging on my walls, 1,000% matter to me. So that's Animal Crossing level shit where you're like everything,
Whoa.
all this matters. Yeah, I got like this kind of brutish, but it happened, and I was like, I'm leaving it. You can attract people to your camp just like in 4. And you do like a thing. Like I found this woman who I think she's a musician, and if you build her little chair with her guitar, she'll come live at your camp. And she gets there and she's hanging out and she'll just do shit and she plays music and stuff, and she'll fight if someone actually like tries to attack your base. So it's like kind of building your little army if you want. And I was like, there's like an interact with option, so I interact and like I'm just like seeing what the options are, and I accidentally, this is so brutish, probably gonna get flack for this, but I accidentally took her clothes, and then she's just naked in front of you, and just her underwear, and I was just like, I'm leaving it. So now she just walks around in my camp, just in her underwear, playing a guitar with like a funny hat.
It just
on.
stays like that.
Yeah, it's a chef. She was in a chef. She's in a chef hat, and then just her underwear, and she walks around and plays her guitar.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, very brutish, but funny.
Definitely have not done anything like that.
That you could do that. Yeah, could you like the idea that's like someone comes to the camp and they're like, I'm sure someone's come to my camp and looked at it at some point and been like, holy shit, you can do that. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's fucking cool, man. It's a fun game. The only downside I would say on it, to be honest with you, is, and this is what I've heard a lot of the problems with it, is, you're playing on a fucking server and it can time out, and it will, you get a lot. It happens a lot where it'll say server something or other in the bottom right corner, and you just lose control of things for a second. And I've honestly never had that happen and like been getting capped the whole fucking time while it was getting its shit together. So I don't even know, honestly, if that can happen or not. If it like freezes enemies too, I'm not sure. But I would say 90 to 95% of the time, it will just do that for a second and revert, and you're back on your way, and the frequency of that, if you're playing for an hour, 2 or 3 times, maybe, but it can also happen and it'll just boot you off, and you can 1,000% lose progress in interior, because interior spaces are weird. The way they like read what you've done registers in your cumulative gameplay. If you're in an actual interior space where you go in the door and it does that loading thing, because sometimes you can go in interior spaces and that doesn't happen and it's just actually part of the outside world, but sometimes you go into an interior space and it's the actual location and it's like a new level, or there's some sort of difference
transition.
Right. And if you're in one of those, you will, when you come back into the game, you will not be inside of it anymore, and you can absolutely have lost what you did. Not always, but you can have lost progress. So to say the least, that is not cool, so that sucks. I'm sure it was just incomprehensibly way worse at the launch of the game. So I'm sure it's improved considerably, because like I said, it's not anywhere near frequent enough where the whole internet could be on fire about it. So it does suck, but I'm sure, I'm sure they've improved that a great degree. So that's a good thing. But that's honestly the only detractor. And that's the kind of thing too, like we were just talking about with Skyrim and the older Fallouts, like, what we're doing it's incredible what we're doing. And like, yes, you want it to be perfect, but like, got like a little bit of grain of salt with like, just, like, fuck, that's not ideal, but this is pretty fucking cool, like,
Exactly.
there's going to be, a million fucking people playing this fucking massive game with a million things happening every nanosecond. Like every now and again, a wire's going to get crossed. Like you got to just I think you got to just fucking deal with that and not go completely apeshit about it. So
I'm
yeah,
sure games like that'll just like improve, being part of the Microsoft family now, using Azure servers, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Like
yes.
I'm
Give,
sure.
give us your company man shit, Jay, about how it's
No, I'm
fucking.
just saying like how back then that stuff was worse. You like playing on a server was just like more risky, whereas like now it seems to be improving, and the technology behind that is improving as well. So that's cool to see.
Hopefully. So yeah, so there's that. Obviously, was a most of what I'm doing, and then I also did, once I clicked on Fallout, download every Doom game ever. I didn't. They're all on Game Pass. So 1, 2, 3, 64, and Eternal, and I've been fucking a little bit with all of them. This included Doom Eternal, so I did play. I told you, I did get in and play the first level when I needed a break from Fallout for some reason. Maybe I got kicked from a server or something. I was pissed off, and I was like, I just need to do something else. And so I went and played. I played a little bit of Doom Eternal. Excuse me. And it's still, dude. It's just like 2016, and that is just so emotionally exhausting. I've just never. I just can't believe. Like I don't know. Like I mean, I'm sure other games are like that now, and I just don't play those types of games. So maybe this is not nearly. It's not nearly as abnormal or unique as I think it is. But I don't know, man. Like I play it, and I'm just like, fuck. I just need to take a break, man. I like 20 minutes of this, and I just got to stop and like literally hit pause and like clear the mechanism and just like fucking not do anything for a second, just cool off. It's
What's funny about that? I felt the exact same way at the beginning, and that's why I took such a long break. I thought I was I was barely at the beginning when I was like I didn't play it for like so long after that. But I felt the same way. I was like, oh man, it's stressful like Doom 2016 was, which I played through. But like now, I don't know if it's just like I've zenned out and I've like figured out the way to play it where I don't have to be as like scatterbrain. Like, yes, you need to keep moving, but it's not as exhausting as it felt before. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe I just got more comfortable with it. I don't know. But I felt the same way at the beginning. So maybe you just need to clear the mechanism, take a break, come back in a week.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, I mean, it is pretty damn good though. I mean, yeah, like I said, I posted that video of the Hell Priest thing, and like just that, the first level was it does do. Because what really I have a hard time with those games. The thing that I have this is the buttons. There's too many buttons. You got to do too fast, and like I don't have that capability, and that's frustrating. So like easing
saying
you
you're
in.
old, Josh?
I
you're
think
old right now?
old, or yeah, perhaps maybe it is old. I don't know. The gradual internalization of what each one of these things you need to do on a semi-regular basis, it's doing a pretty good job. Because like that's the thing too, like a lot of these games, I think I talked about this with Outriders and stuff too, like I'll get in there and you're doing the tutorial in the beginning of the game, and like I can't play these games every day. Like I can't play this kind of game every day. I just can't. It's something I'm gonna come in and out of, and if I do that tutorial thing for an hour and some change, and then I come back a week later, it's gone. Like all that shit I learned is gone. And you're not gonna you saved your game, so you're not gonna be doing that exact tutorial part again. So like I have this gap in like what my knowledge base is and what I need to know to progress, and like that honestly is one of the biggest hindrances with playing games like this. A lot of the times it's just I don't have it's not intriguing enough to keep me entrenched in playing it long enough to retain all the shit that I need to get good at it, and that is one of the harder things. And that's, when I did fire Doom back up the second time, I was like, what the fuck, how do I do that? And like, it's just, it's frustrating. But that's my own problem, of course, but that's, that's going to be my thing with Doom, I think.
Yeah, you really do have to come back like every couple of days or whatever so that you remember it, because even when I switch up between like that and Halo 5 just for like PvP aspect or something, like it's always like, I'm pressing the wrong button. But if I take too long of a break, it's the same thing. I'm like, all right, what is the controls again? But even once I know what they are, it takes me a while to like, okay, that's to get back into the rhythm of it.
Sure, exactly.
So
that's
really,
what I mean.
You really do have
you
to
cannot be thinking of that shit. A game like that, you cannot be thinking about what you're going to push. It needs to be instinct,
Yeah.
And it's tough to get to that instinctual level. There's a certain amount of just time on task you have to devote in order to get there, and I have a hard time devoting that amount of time to a game like that. But it is good for sure. I will not even begin to argue that.